Okay, lesson 1.3, solving equations. We're going to translate verbal expressions into algebraic expressions and equations, and vice versa, solving equations using the properties of equality. So this should be good review from Algebra 1 topics that you've had. So first is just verbal to algebraic. So they're going to give us a verbal description, we're going to write it. So 7 less than a number, and we've seen this before when we're taking 7 away from an unknown number. So we're going to represent that unknown number with a variable. I'm just going to use x and 7 less than. Next is going to be the square of a number decreased by the product of 5 and the number. So the square of a number would be x squared. Decreased by is subtraction. Product means multiplication, so we're going to be multiplying 5 and the number, or 5x. And that's it. Next we're going to go the other direction. So write a verbal statement to represent each equation. So for this one, I'm just going to kind of talk it out. 6 is equal to the sum of -5 and an unknown number. So start off with 6 is the sum, or you could say equal to, of -5 and a number. And it could be a little bit different from mine and still be correct. There's a lot of different ways to write these. Okay, if you want to try the next one on your own and then check, you're more than welcome to do that. Pause. All right, so this one could say 2 less than 7y is 19, or equals 19. So we'll write out 2. Small numbers you can write out. 2 less than 7y, or 7 times a number, or the product. So again, there's lots of different words you can use. Equals 19. All right, let's review those properties of equality. So reflexive is like your reflection in a mirror. It's equal to itself. Symmetric is like a butterfly's wings. One side is symmetrical to the other, so it's kind of flipping it. So A equals B, then we know B equals A. Transitive is kind of referred to that as a big long train, where the first part is equal to the last part. Those are the parts you really need. It seems like you need the train part that pulls you along, and then you need some sort of tail end. All the middle parts, the stuff you're trucking along. So it's A equals B and B equals C. Then A, our first part, is equal to our last part, because they're both equal to the same thing. So they're equivalent to each other. Substitutions, like a substitute teacher, you can replace something that's equivalent. So A equals B, then you could substitute A in for B if necessary. So let's kind of use those properties, identify some properties down here. So if we have x minus 2.03 equals x minus 2.03, that's the same exact thing. There's no reflection taking place because it is exactly the same thing on both sides. So that is reflexive. Next, B, if 9 equals x, then x equals 9. So it's kind of flipping it there, and that would be the symmetric property. All right, next is going to be the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division properties, which you use and probably don't call them that. You did in a little bit in geometry, but whatever we do to one side, we have to do that same thing to the other. So we're going to do the property of equality to solve for our variable. So for A, we want to get m alone, so we're going to undo this subtraction with addition of 5.5. 5.48. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do on the other to keep it balanced. So m equals 5.5. Next, we look at our fraction here. How do we get rid of a half? Well, any fraction you want to multiply by its reciprocal. So I'll put that up here. Multiply by reciprocal. And we talked about reciprocal last lesson. That is just its flip version. So 2 times it by 2 on both sides. 18 times 2, 36. And that is what x equals. So 1/2 times 2 cancels out. Right, another multi-step here. First step would be to distribute. So distribute, if you want to at any point solve this by yourself, you can do that. 3y minus 6. You can pause and try it on your own and then check. Combine like terms. Negative 3y minus 4, and solve like we did above. You're going to start with getting rid of this negative 4 by adding 4. I'm going to bring it over here. 49. Nope, we are adding 4. Oops. 57. There we go. 53 plus 4, 57 equals, over here, negative 3y. And divide by negative 3. And in your calculator, type that in, and you'd get negative 19. All right, so on the next one, we are going to solve for y. So we're going to get everything away from the y. So first step is to get rid of this multiplication. We don't want to distribute, that's going to make more of a mess. So let's get rid of that 3b that's being multiplied by dividing. So it's a over 3b equals, and what's left is just x plus y. So now undo this x that's being added with subtraction. So I'm going to just write it next to it. And there is y by itself. A divided by 3b minus x. So you just undo whatever's with that variable.